I got to handle an adult king cobra. That's so cool.
How was that like though? Because like even though I love exotics and video, I can never bring myself to actually handle a king
Free
cobra.
handle. I like free handling. Not like a hook, the king cobra. No, it's like I'm holding, like the head is like on my hand, and I was like, whoa. Hey everyone, we are back again after a really, really long time. Another Salvator Stories. It's been so long, dude. So long. So many things have happened. We've gone overseas a couple of times, you know, found a couple of cool lifers and cool finds. But yeah, before we talk about anything else, how have you been?
I've been to Australia. I had my hair blonde. I actually enjoyed the blonde hair for as long as I did.
Remember that? Everybody did.
Lost a lot of motivation to continue a lot of these videos I was doing, so kind of took a long sabbaticals. But you know, the thing about you is you're always able to get me out to come and do something again, so I kind of appreciate it. So that's why we are here today.
Yeah, like you say, you've been away for a while. It's good to have you sometimes when you're helping.
Sometimes,
right?
most of the time.
It's always good to have you.
Yeah, I'm good in small amounts, right? 2 months is a little bit of an annoyance.
Good in small amounts. So I guess it's been like a super long time already, you know, we've done a lot of things. And today we're here to talk about herpetoculture overseas. Yeah, herpetoculture.
Yeah, so you can see this. Straight away, I just like wake up.
Whoa.
You know, we talk about that.
So man, Australia, the land of the lizards, the land of the dragons, land of the reptiles, for Reptile Ren. How was it like that?
So I was in Australia for like more than 2 weeks, right? And this was actually supposed to be more of like a herping trip. I was mainly going there to focus on the wildlife side of things. But I think over the span of my trip there, I met a lot of people from there, especially Australians who are pet keepers, reptile pet keepers themselves. And I think that really kind of reinvigorated my interest and my it really did reinvigorate my interest and my passion for exotics, right? Because I think after my entire ordeal with whatever happened, I was very scared.
Detached from it. Right?
Yeah, I was very detached and I was very scared
from it.
And honestly, I think there was a part of me that kind of hoped that herping would be enough for me, right? Like I would probably never need to go back to doing exotics. But I think being in Australia for the 2 weeks and getting to experience herpetoculture in itself and seeing all people keep these reptiles and their reptile rooms and the bonds they have with these animals and everything, you know.
I mean, I get it, and I guess that's why when you came back, you sort of lost touch with herping for a bit. You were like super hands off from herping.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Because of I have a very weird relationship with the culture that it gets very frustrating being in the shoes that I'm in because of the things that I've seen overseas, and I can't do it back home, right? So it's just
over there you can see people balance out, like they balance out on one hand, I can go out there, drive around the outback, road cruise venomous snakes, take photos of it, you know, and then on the other hand you see them go back home after a long day of herping and they have their own lizards and their own snakes in their own like tanks and you can play around with them, and it's such a good mix and mash between the two of them. Like, such a interesting concept.
Yeah, I think
interesting for us because we can't experience it here.
At least not
normal for them. Yeah, not normal for them, but you know, for us it's
so I think Australia really strike the good balance of letting people keep like their native reptiles as pets as opposed to like a complete ban on it. You know, you mentioned herping and herpetoculture and the blending of these things, right? I think some of the herpers that do keep these animals as pets, how they use herping is they'll go out to herp, they'll see these animals in the wild, and then they go back and they apply what they've learned of the observation they have of the animals outside. They put it back into their tank. So that's how they build better enclosures and be able to provide better care for the animals. So I really think there is this common ground here that you don't really see in Singapore because of how demonized the reptile pet hobby is. Yeah. So I thought, you know, us just like being able to like speak about this and, you know, just talk about it. I'm hoping that it kind of at least tries to demystify and spin a better light on reptile pet trade.
For sure. I think it's more of like an eye-opening experience for those of you who don't haven't exactly seen reptiles in captivity outside of like zoos. Like I'm talking about individuals like me and Randall, like common folk, you know, owning a snake or a lizard, another exotic animal as a pet, you know, like not like your dogs or cats.
Yeah.
So if you haven't experienced that, hopefully our conversation here will help you open your eyes to that. See some of the clips of all these animals that were shot overseas.
Yeah, because I think there's always that misconception there that people that keep reptiles as pets are poachers and things like that, but it's not true.
A lot of it is actually like bred over through many generations already. So I think maybe from the beginning it was like it has to be poached. I think at some point, maybe 100 years ago. But I think as you breed and domesticate them, they become fully domesticated to the point where if you release them out into the wild, they will die.
Absolutely.
Most of them will die. Obviously, there are some that adapt very well, but for the most part, they are not able to because they are so used to, or they need very specific conditions and needs really. So, so what would be like the most coolest reptile in captivity that you've seen there? Like,
I think I had around 3 stops in Australia that revolved around herpetoculture in general. One of them was meeting Max Jackson from Australian Wildlife Encounters. I got to see his very incredible reptile room. And it's things like this that really like, this is going to keep me because he has a very beautiful reptile room and he has so many cool native Australian snakes. And he showed me some of his snakes. I got to handle some of them, like his Woma pythons, for example. I got to see how he actually breed
the eggs, right? The eggs.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how well taken care of an animal is for it to be able to breed healthy eggs that eventually hatches out into live animals? It's amazing. Herpetoculture is amazing. I absolutely love it. I gotta say.
I never ever see you so like, wow.
Yeah, this is.
And then like when you're on this subject, you're like, man, that's great.
I can't. It's just, I just can't put it. Just the way it is. I had much more personal encounters when I was in New South Wales. I visited 2 Australians, Kai Gould and Michael Payne, who actually took me out helping as well. But I actually stopped by to see their reptile rooms, and wow, these guys are so passionate about the animals they keep. And I got to spend time, I think on my last day, visiting one of their houses. I got to see one of their monitors, and it really was just like a scaly dog. They had it like running around the house.
Scaly dog.
Yeah, he was like running around the house. He was like very curious about what people were doing. You will pick him up and you like hug him and cradle him, and he's like a little skinny baby. It's so cute, and I miss it so much. I miss it so much. But yeah, I noticed just a little excerpts of the time that I had there, and I'm really lighting up just speaking about it. So yeah, there's just a little tease of what I've been through to Australia. You want to know the whole thing? Go and watch the Dragon Tales on it.
Yeah, I mean you've done like hopping there as well. So all those videos are on your channel. You guys can check it out.
Yeah. So speaking of my own adventures in Australia, right? I think you also had a chance to have some of your own herpetoculture.
This is my time. So I went on a family trip December of last year to Bangkok. Yeah, so we were there for holidaying, and I think while I was there, I decided, you know what, let me just try to see if I can do a bit of herping or not. So I went through a couple of people, tried to contact them, and I was like, you know what, let me try my luck. Someone who follows me, someone who's pretty big on the herpetoculture scene in Thailand itself, Chrisweeet. So I hit him up and he was like, sure, I'll bring you out. And I was like pushing my luck a little bit. I was like, can I see your exotic collection? Because it's like pretty damn cool, I'm like, yeah, like the famous reptile room of Chris. Yeah, I'm like, and then he said, yeah, sure. So I was like, let's go. And I was like, okay, sure. And let me tell you, right, I'm a herper.
Yes.
I love to see stuff in the wild.
Yep.
But when I was there, I could have just not went herping, and I could have visited his reptile room, and I would be more than happy to spend like the entire day there. There's so much cool things inside of it. But like when you're walking through the aisles, right, looking at all the snakes, the venomous snakes there, so many different kinds of cool vipers and stuff you can't even find in Thailand itself. And I was like so mind blown by it, right? And that was before we even hit the main feature of the place, which was like the king cobras, right? His famous king cobras, Oracle and all that. But I think Oracle was like in shed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's like the biggest one. Yeah. So rest in peace. I think he passed away earlier this year.
Oh man, so sad.
But yeah, I think he still has like another 6 king cobras or something like that, right? And it was crazy because I got to go in there and we got to see all of them. Some of them were out curious, they were like sticking their heads out, like staring at me. I was like planted my face through the glass. I was like, hi, and then like looking at me. So I think that was really cool to experience.
So let's dive it back a bit. Let's go through your emotions. Because you've never really been in this situation where you're so close.
Yeah. I mean, I can see your
right?
Yeah.
So how was it like when you entered the reptile room? Were you blown away?
I was blown away. That room is so famous. Before that, I kept telling, because my bro and I visited together. So I kept telling my bro, who was not really in the scene at all. He just does nature walk sometimes. Not really a herper or anything. I was telling him, I was freaking out, like, how amazing it is we get to enter this guy's room. Do you know, like, I've known about this guy's room when I started herping, and I'm not even like an exotics guy, but I know of his room. I've seen people visiting his room, doing a room tour, videos and all that. and I get to do it for myself. I get to go in and experience it for myself. And you know, Chris is such a nice guy. He's so humble as well. Like for a guy that's of such a huge following and you know has such incredible work raising all his animals and all that. And the best part was I got to handle the king cobra.
Yeah, so
I got to handle an adult king cobra. That's so cool.
How was that like though? Because like even though I love exotics and the surfing activity, I can never bring myself to actually handle a king cobra.
I don't know, man. Look, straight up, right? When we were there, at some point, I think I sort of asked him like, is it possible if we take the king cobra out to handle? I was like, I'm very afraid because I don't dare to. I'm a bit scared of like asking these sort of questions, right? Because I'm not familiar in the scene, so. We were handling some snakes before that. I think we went to get our hands washed with soap and everything to make sure that he couldn't smell any snake on us. Don't take a nibble.
You don't. It's a little nibble for him, but it's bad news for you, right?
Exactly, it's bad news for me. Free handle. I like free handling. Not like a hook, the king cobra. No, it's like I'm holding. Like the head is like on my hand, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And like the whole tail wrapped around me. Yeah,
I don't know,
crazy.
Man. So I guess that's kind of like a testament to like how well he trusts his animals, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
For sure. It never looked like he was trying to bite us or anything at all. We took it out. It was super calm. Let it run around for a bit, and had a great time.
So I actually like saw some of the enclosures he has like online and everything, and like I think the amount of effort that goes into this is like crazy, because you're like hand building these bioactive enclosures from scratch, right?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because
it looks amazing. It looks amazing.
Yeah, those enclosures look real good, and like
those viper setups super good.
Yeah,
moss and.
Can you imagine the more research that goes into being able to build a specific enclosure for a specific animal? And he has like so many of these different.
It's like an empire, right? It's like an empire. And like I said, man, we went herping afterwards, but I think the main highlight of the day was definitely just being in his reptile room. Oh yeah, we got to handle a baby king as well.
You got to handle a baby king?
Yeah. So like,
tell me about that.
So what happened was that I think one of his females laid a whole clutch of eggs and they all hatched. So I think he donated most of it away except for like one individual at a time. And I think just so happens that when I went, there was still that one there. So I mean, it would have been cooler if I took a photo with like 20 in my hand. But I think having to play with that one was good enough.
Yeah, I just make sure you don't do it in a while. Yeah. And then the fall of the chair now.
So we talked about our own adventures overseas, our own individual adventures overseas. But earlier this year, we embarked on our own trip together.
Yeah, Fraser, right?
Not Fraser, damn it.
Yeah, alright.
So we went on a trip to Bali and we visited the Bali Reptile Park.
Yeah, I don't think that was all. Back then when we were planning for this trip, I was kind of like stepping away from the whole hobby in general. But I remember being slightly pulled in because of this opportunity to visit Bali Reptile Park. It wasn't just because like it was like a random reptile park, right? I think one of the reasons why I was super excited was because there was a certain animal in that park that I was looking forward to visiting. So most of the reptile establishments or
zoos and all that,
right? You don't really have like a zookeeper who like brings you around like to give you a personalized experience, right?
So it was like a personalized tour of the entire place, and he was going around and telling us this is the what viper this is, what cobra this was, and yeah, he's telling you information about it, about not just the species but also about that individual animal that's in the enclosure. So they're so well educated, so knowledgeable. I mean, on.
I remember like my first interactions. I remember like going into the park. First thing I saw, green iguana and the keeper were like next to each other. And then I started like talking to the keeper and like Indon about the green iguana.
It was a good story.
yeah, it's so funny. But anyways, right, I think the highlight of the reptile park itself
was this little pen.
Yes, this little play pen they had, and in this play pen they had like free-ranging green iguanas, free-ranging rhino iguanas. But I think the highlight of that, right, was
the big monitor lizard.
Oh yeah, I forgot about it. Big monitor lizard. Asian water monitor lizard never getting enough love.
Yeah, there was a big monitor lizard in there, huge one.
Yeah, huge one. Right. But highlight was an Argentine Black and White Tegu.
Google
the Tegu, everyone. Google the Tegu. Just chilling over there. It was like the most like relaxed lizard I've ever seen in my life, right? And it was so cool, like getting to see this Argentine Black and White Tegu. So if for those of you who might know, right, the Argentine Black and White Tegu was the animal that actually
the animal that got you caught.
He was the animal that got me busted,
Yeah, got you.
Put it things simply, and that was like back in 2019, right?
It's 4 years.
So fast forward like 4 years later, being able to pet it, and like cradle it in my arms.
Getting emotional.
And hug it, No, it really was actually a very emotional moment, I did feel a little bit choked up.
Yeah, I mean, we got the pictures, you went to blast it all over your social media, your WhatsApp, everything.
Yeah, oh my God.
Yeah, everything was that you were holding the Tegu.
Yeah, because it was a very special moment. This is an animal that I wanted for the longest of time, and I never had a chance to do that. Will I have a chance to do it again in the future in a legalized context? Hopefully, God willing. But until then, I'll enjoy moments like Bali Reptile Park that lets me relive some of these moments that I missed so much in the past. But what about you? How did you feel about this?
I mean, okay, for me, I guess I did enjoy. I know I picked up the rhino iguana and all that as well. I enjoyed picking those lizard ups, and I think what's really really interesting was the keepers actually taught us how to pick them up properly, which was I think to reach underneath and all that. To make your arm feel like the sort of branch that they will bask on. So originally when I picked it up, like scratches everywhere because it was just like clawing at me, like yeah, no. And then after the keepers like patiently just told us like, oh, this is the right way to do it. Did it properly, and then they were completely chilled out. It was great.
They were so cool about it, and I had a conversation with them about some of the diets that they had these animals on, and that's the great thing about herpetoculture. Sometimes you share your knowledge with people share their experiences back, and it's just a great way to bond over these animals.
I would say you get to learn more about them because you get to really be very intimate with them. And I think that's also why I really enjoyed the whole park in general. I think the whole park was just a very close-up encounter with reptiles that I never ever thought I got to be able to experience. One of our friends, Ethan, even managed to feed a crocodile as well.
Oh yeah,
yeah, like chicken the crocodile.
And I'm
overlaying the video right now on the screen, but I think that was pretty.
I'm pretty sure that was his highlight of the trip.
That was definitely his highlight of the trip. Sure, yeah. It was his dream accomplished.
I realize how herpetoculture tends to fulfill the dreams of people or something.
Yeah, even if we enjoy the wild side more, there's also a place in our hearts for somewhere.
Yeah, so I just think there's like a middle ground somewhere that hopefully we'll get to someday.
Yeah, but before we wrap up, right, I'm very curious because you visited other parks as well in Australia, right? So what's the difference between like the ones in Australia and the ones in Bali?
I think you brought up the point earlier about intimacy, and I really think it is about the intimacy when it comes to things like herpetoculture, right? I visited the Australia Zoo, right? Steve Irwin's Australia Zoo. I got to interact with a Komodo dragon or wild animals. That was like so freaking cool, right? I've also had a chance to like visit like Reptopia in Singapore as well, right? And I one of the reasons why I enjoyed the trip to Reptopia was also because of this intimacy, having this moment of intimacy with the animals itself. And I think that's what really sells Bali Reptile Park. I mean, the intimacy, being able to interact with these animals at such a close distance, and you get to feel and touch them and just like create this moment in the animal. That's something you don't get in a lot of zoos out there.
Probably. The best part was that it was free of charge to handle them.
Yeah, right.
The python as well at the end, right? The python at the end of the... It was also
free, right? Yeah, as well.
So you don't... I think in certain places like Reptopia or like even the Australia Zoo, you have to pay extra money to have this intimate experience. But for the reptile park, that is part of visiting the park. That intimate experience you get is something that they want you to have.
Yes, I think all we did was pay for the entrance fee, and
that's all.
Yeah, we had a blast.
That was all. I think you donated some money as well.
I did.
Yeah.
They deserved it.
Yeah.
They deserved it. It hands down the best reptile attraction I've been at. No.
There you have it. That's pretty big statement, right? Yeah. And I mean, same for me as well. I highly recommend if you guys, any of you visiting Bali, want to go and visit some of the zoos, I highly recommend Bali Reptile Park. It's definitely worth the time there.
Yeah, so we've been here for quite a long time,
but we really wanted to put this video out just because we felt like we have a lot of interesting stories to share, and these experiences, I think not everyone goes around vlogging their encounters in the zoo. And look guys, I know some of you guys come to these videos to like, herping, where's the wild animals? That's coming out soon. We'll sit down again and talk about like our best experiences in the wild another time.
Yes.
Today.
Yes.
And we've got, just a little bit of teaser. We got another overseas trip maybe planned for the end of the year.
Are you going to tell them where we're going?
Nah, hopefully that works out, man. I don't know.
It really doesn't work out.
Yeah, I'm really like, oh yeah, we're going to like, this place, and then like,
doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Okay lah. So I guess thanks once again for coming along for this.
Like, subscribe, comment.
Yeah.
I'll see you next time.
Or don't if you don't want to. Bye.
We're done.